Hello, beautiful people. We are back with a short one, and I promise it is going to be a short one because there's nothing new happening for the most part. Um, but on the end of that, I wanted to clarify something before I even get into Ninja Gaiden news. On my Lost Soul side, the truth about the development video, I made a very, very moronic, idiotic, stupid, silly mistake that is going to plague me for the rest of my life, but I addressed something in the wrong order and the wrong manner and the wrong everything actually. I said this made DMC Devil May Cry. It was handled by Team Ninja, but they couldn't do shit with it. Well, Team Ninja, and by Team Ninja I meant to say Ninja Theory, but because I've been talking about Team Ninja for the past year, pretty much, Team Ninja Theory escaped me completely. So I made the mistake of saying that DMC Devil May Cry was handled by Team Ninja. That is false. That is not true. That is a mistake IGN has done. That is a mistake a lot of people actually did. When DMC Devil May Cry came out, people tweeted at Team Ninja and congratulating them, which was hilarious because it's Ninja Theory, not Team Ninja. However, with that being said, while I suffer for the rest of my life from making this mistake, I wanted to clarify that if you hear that next time, and I have put a comment here pinned that I am truly a fucking idiot. Um, I meant to say the MCW America was handled by Ninja Theory, but Capcom helped in. That's the end of that. Anyways, closing this, going to this. There is nothing new. I've already covered everything that has been shown here, but I will clarify some stuff that people still have concerns about, and just in a good manner. Let me lower the audio before people's ears blow up, though. So the platinum post I already covered. If you need a news roundup of everything that has happened ever since Gamescom up until the most recent thing, which would be this platinum post. Well, not the platinum post. Platinum post is different. This post is a new one, but it's different. We will get into it because it's a really hopeful future. But most new things are covered in this video. Ninja Gaiden 4, TGS schedule, and 2 new articles. I've went through this, all the new stuff, and I read the articles. It was an IGN article, took forever to go through it. But yeah, all the fresh stuff is here. Now, as far as new stuff goes, we don't have much. There is just this, which, again, I'll get into right now. Hello, everyone. This is Yasuda-san from Team Ninja. I serve as a producer on Ninja Gaiden 4. Ninja Gaiden is a series that holds a special place in my heart, as Ninja Gaiden 2 marked my first involvement in action games development and was the beginning of my over 20-year connection to this series. I'm truly grateful to everyone who has played and supported this series over the years. For our newest mainline entry, the first in 13 years, we've worked alongside Platinum Games to craft a game that can be enjoyed by seasoned master ninjas and action game fans around the world. We're closely approaching the day when we can deliver this high speed ninja action experience that stays true to the signature feel of the series and follows new protagonist Yakumo's earliest ascent to the ranks of Master Ninja. Please look forward to it. So the fact that the producer came forth and is actually sharing these information with us, it's really good news. Producers tend to get involved with the community a little bit more after the game is mostly done, right? There's nothing to produce; it's just polishing at that point. You're still working on some future post content stuff, most likely. Um, I'm not a producer, and I have probably one of the least experienced fields in producing, so I wouldn't know what an actual producer's job is completely through and through. And depending on the company, I assume that would change. But that aside, um, if you guys recall to Matt and DMC5's development, he was the producer of DMC5. He was very involved. He promoted a whole bunch of stuff. He showed up to pretty much every the Comic Con, PAX, Tokyo Game Show, everywhere. He tried his best to promote it. And since we are getting close to the release, which is going to be next month, it's good that we see this. I'll play the video on the back so you guys have something to look at. But yeah, very, very good hands-on approach with this. I like this. And they're talking about how keywords here, it's like interior was Ninja Gaiden 2, which means this guy is very, very, very classic with it. And he says over 20 years. Ninja Gaiden 2 came out in 2008, so the original came out in 2008. So That's not 20 years ago, right? So, he's been playing since Ninja Gaiden 1. He's probably been playing before that too, but point aside, this is a very, very heavily invested person into the franchise, being the producer. So, rest assured that there is secure hands on this franchise for people that are still skeptical about it, which is fine. And if I want to point out some other things, is that they're saying these lines about Yakumo. It said, hey, Yakumo is going to be, it's going to be his ascent to becoming a master ninja, which is a big thing to say because it kind of spoils, like, Yakumo's not going to die or anything at the end of this. This is just like, ascension of the title. So, yeah, he's probably going to be here to stay. I wouldn't mind him as a side character. I wouldn't mind him as a supporting character either. You know how Ryu's been the supporting character. I wouldn't mind it flipping around if Ryu is the main focus. Yakumo is the support, or Hayate, and your support characters are always nice. In Ninja Gaiden, we have a lot of cool characters. All the girls, Momoji, Rachel, all that. So, yeah, at this, like, the story is most likely going to be like heavily focused on this, and they have commented that it's more than half, and they didn't mean like way more than half. No, it's like more than half, little bits, like slightly more than half of it is going to be Yakumo focus, and the rest of it is going to be Ryu focus. So, at one point, either Yakumo messes up, and then you change perspective to Ryu, and you play the game from the past through his vision, kind of like DMC did it. It's like things happen, you switch to Dante like 10 months ago, it's like, or 4 months ago. It's it's gonna be like that. So, nothing new here. But if you want me to break down some stuff, they start this off with the range attack that they've been advertising. It's like, yeah, when you hold Blood Raven attack, you press circle, you send out the shockwave, which again is very Jetstream Sam like, right? So that happens, but everything else is just high speed Ninja Gaiden actions. You drag, Divine Swallows and all that. Everything I've already discussed in multiple videos, so no point going through it again. But another thing here, melee range attacks can actually destroy projectiles, so that's good. And poor guy actually died getting hit by. He got clipped by the Blood Raven attack because it was charged up. As you can see, one tapped, he's dead. Bye. It would have been funny if he fell down, but that's it. Now, one important thing I wanted to note. To the people that are very against these slowdowns and perfect dodging slowdowns and action stopping, uh, I have brought this up, but I will bring it up again with a focus on it because I have said that you can toggle this off, but you can see it here. Yakumo perfect dodges here and then perfect blocks, and there's no slowdown, so pay attention. Ow, my ears. I'm going to turn this down as much as possible. See, there was no slowdown in the sequence. That is as fast as we can see it. Dodge. You see? There's no slowdown. There's no time stop, nothing. Everything's happening seamlessly. So, if you are against the slowdowns, don't worry. There's a toggle for it, most likely. You can actually slow these down. Or get rid of the slowdowns. You can play it without going through that. So, again, positive feedback. People have complained about this thing, and they were like, okay, maybe we'll add a toggle to it. Or maybe they've already had the plans to add it to it, right? Platinum really likes to make their combat dynamic. So, always having the option to not want it as dynamic is a good thing. And they're doing that. They're doing it with the blood. They're doing it with the indications, combat indications like the red flashes and stuff you see here. They don't appear all the time, right? These combat flashes are going to be a thing that you can toggle them off. You do not have to have these on. The attack indications off screen too. I'm probably going to have the attack indications on because I despise getting hit off screen. And I'm a DMC player, so usually keeping things off screen is it's a way to not worry about them. So the fact that you're getting hit off screen with like bullets and projectiles is a little bit aggravating. Because you don't necessarily have the tools to deal with them besides the fact that I have to focus this guy first while there's 40 people chasing you around trying to kill you. So, yeah. But yeah, that honestly is everything Ninja Gaiden related that's been quote unquote new. So producer is being hands-on with posting. This post was a while ago on September 1st, so this is like 2 days ago. And that's been it. I waited the 2 day period to see if there's anything new popping up. Nothing popped up, so I'm covering this because people have been asking, I want more Ninja Gaiden news. I'm like, brother, there's nothing to cover. I don't want to spam people's subboxes with this. So to make this a little bit faster, last thing I want to talk about again is the TGS roundup. TGS is happening this month. This month, right? Dates are here. Thursday to Sunday. So it depends on where you are in the world. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. This is going to be the whole thing. Thursday it starts. Sunday it ends. So if you're in Japan, if you're in Tokyo, Japan, you can go there. You can play hands-on this game, and this game. Actually, I'm not sure about Hyrule Warriors, but these two games, Nioh and Ninja Gaiden, you can play if you are in Tokyo or if you're in Japan or if you're willing to make the trip. You can go play hands-on. I'd assume Ninja Gaiden is going to be way more popular there, so the lines are going to be longer. So be prepared for that. There's merch you can buy. You can get it signed afterwards, most likely too, by the developers if you're into that. So merch is nice. These shirts are cool. I wish I could have some, but yeah, that's that. And I'm pretty sure if you do play the demo, they're going to give you that the pin. There's a Ryu and Yakumo pin off their heads, so um, get you one of those. They're exclusively like limited items by all means. So yeah, TGS is happening in 22 days. So most likely we're going to hear something new if we don't hear something by then. Hopefully nothing new leaks this time because before Gamescom some stuff leaked that we covered instantly. Anyways, that being said, for my Nioh enjoyers, I don't have a gripe with this game. So despite it being Souls, like I actually respect Nioh for being so unique. So no shit talking here. There's been an IGN video on this. It's a new boss fight, new area. A little bit they show it off, but they just cut straight to the boss fight. Again, IGN video. I'm not gonna cover it because it's new. Just go watch it yourself. And if I'm being quite honest, it's an 8-minute video, and most of it is just this boss fight. Like it is mostly that boss fight. So it's kind of like it's a hassle to sit through. But if I can narrow it down for you, weapons are not locked to class anymore. You can actually use any weapon with any class, with the shinobi and samurai stuff. So the weapons are not class specific anymore. You can actually just use whatever. The tonfa on the thing, so on the shinobi and everything. So, and there's perfect guard mechanics here that does not reduce your stamina as much. And I've noticed that the damage you take, that's a perfect dodge or that perfect block, the damage you seem to take is very minimal compared to before. Because before you used to get a hit and that like you just half your health at least. Like he just took 2 hits and he barely lost like 40% of his health. Iframe seems to be a little bit more generous too, which means it exists. So yeah, the game seems to be a little bit less tedious to play from the beta, and that's a good thing. Stamina is a problem still, I think. In my opinion, I think it still drains too fast, considering the frequency of attack too, and the fact that the only defensive tool is usually dodging. But because perfect block is there and it consumes no stamina, you might have ways to deal with this. So there's ways to minimize this further. But then again, do check this out. I'm not gonna cover Nioh. I would love to, but I don't feel qualified or passionate enough to cover Nioh. I'm sure there's other people out there to do it. I will bring up news because I know a lot of Ninja Gaiden people want to play this, and I did a little funny joke. It's like, "Where's Ryu Hayabusa?" Oh wait, wrong IP. Gotta every time there's anything Team Ninja related, I gotta bring up Ryu. But yeah, check this out on IGN if you like Nioh, and I'm gonna cut this off because I promise it will be short. I think it's already 20 minutes, so I'll catch you guys whenever there is news on Ninja Gaiden. So please don't rush it. I know all of us are restless. All of us want more Ninja Gaiden, so you have to bear it with me. All of us have to bear this together till we get some news. And at the very latest, very latest TGS in 23 days, we're gonna get some news if things don't get leaked or more footage gets pushed out. But yeah, have a great day. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys soon. Hopefully.